Hi guys, welcome to this video. So in our previous video, we have created our DAX measures and our custom column here. And in our last video, we have gone through about this drill down functionality for the date tables. Okay. And then we have created our separate hierarchy here and we have developed our bar chart for the drill down hierarchy. Okay. So in this video, we are going to see the DAX calculation, how we can going to create a DAX calculation with the time intelligence. Okay, so let's go on with that. So before that, let me just rename all these pages because it will be very easy while you are having more number of pages. Okay, if it has page 1, page 2, page 3, it will collapse us because whether where the time where the date table hierarchy is presented here, so that it will be very confusing, right? So I'm just going to rename this. So so for this page 1, I'm going to rename it as introduction to DAX. Okay, so we have seen this DAX, right? So for the page 2 here, so this will be dates, right? So intro to dates. Okay, and for the page 3 here, this will be the created by our own, right? So I don't want this page because this I created this visualization for your information, right? So I'm just going to delete this. You can delete this by here. Okay, okay, delete. Okay, now we have two more pages here. Yeah, two pages here. Let me just rename this again. Okay, so now we can go for the a time intelligence visualization. By creating a DAX calculation, we can create our visualization in this new page. So this page will be like intro to time intelligence. Okay, so in this view, we are going to create a table view for the dates. Okay, so I'm just going to click on the dates and you can see our table is got created for the dates. Okay, but for here I don't want the quarter and I don't want the day because I'm just going to have a visualization based on the sales by only the quarter. So sorry, only the by the year and the month. Okay, so let me just drag here. Okay, we have all the data up to 2022. Okay, okay, so let me go for the top of it. Okay, so I'm just going to delete this quarter and day. Like I said before, we have discussed the date hierarchy in our previous video. We can able to remove columns under this hierarchy by deleting this. Okay, I don't want this quarter and I don't want this day. Okay, so we just have only the year and the month. So now let me just expand this. Let's go for the format and go for the values. Let me just expand the values. Okay, so 15 is okay. So now we are going to add the total sales into this table. So let me go for the measure and let me go for the total sales measure that we have created in our previous video. Okay, sorry. So we have to click this table and then we have to you may have this checkbox ticked, or else you can drag directly into this table, or else you can directly drag into here. Okay. So now we have imported our sales into this date table. We can able to view the January month of the year 2022. It has a sales of a 10 lakhs $24,700. Okay, so this is how we can we have created in our previous visualization for 2020, 2021 and the 2022. So now if we need to view a particular if I need to view the sales of January 2021, it is 947,532, but for the previous year it has 10 lakh $24,700 for the overall sales on the January month of 2020. Okay, if I need to compare these two, if let me take an example. If I need to compare the January month of 2022 with the January month of 2021, I need to view this January sales and then I have to go for the January again. I have to move towards upwards or downwards, right? So this will be okay, but if you have more and more data, you need to drag towards up and you need to search for that particular filters. Okay, so for this we can able to create a DAX measure for that, and then we can able to create a separate column for that. We can able to view this if the 2022 sales is like this, and then we can able to view the 2021 sales on this new column that we are going to create. Okay, this is called as like a time intelligence DAX calculation. So we can able to create this by creating a new measure. Okay, so let me just go for the measure table here. So I'm going to create a new measure here, or else you can go directly click on this new measure. Okay, so let me go for the new measure. Okay, and you can able to see the measure here. So let me just zoom this, and now I'm going to rename this. Okay, okay. I'm going to rename this as, okay, total sales, last year. Okay, so I'm going to name it as LY as a short form for the last year. Okay, so this will be equal to, now we have to compare like the this month sales compared to the last month, like a previous year sales. Okay, so how we can do that? So for that, let me just go on with the new function called calculate. Okay, calculate, and you can see the expression here and the filters here. So this calculate function is like a important function while you are going to create any kind of report for the visualization based on the time intelligence. Okay, so this is very important function in this DAX measures. Okay, while we are using time intelligence, so try to do more and more example with this calculate function so that it will be very easy for you to understand this calculate function. Okay, so in this, like when we have go for the calculate function here, you can see the expression and the filters, and like it is used to evaluate an expression in a context modified by the filters. You can highlight this word like modified by filters. Like we are going to provide our filter here, and then we are going to create an expression for this so that we can be able to view the dates based on the filters that we have got, but that we are going to create here. Okay, so let me just go for the expression. So for this, like we are going to create the like a comparatively sales between the total sales, right? So here I'm going for the total sales. Here you can able to see the total sales, right? So total sales, as this word turns into the purple color, it is like we have we have imported the like a measure into our DAX measure. Okay, so we are going to create a measure based on the previous measure which we have created. Okay, so like I have explained this before in this previous video itself about this purple color. Okay, so this doesn't play a big role because this is just a visualization. So we can directly go for the next, like we need to create a filters. So for this filter, like we can able to add like any kind of function, but we are going to view the last year sales comparatively with this current year. Okay, so here I'm going to write a function of same period last year. You can able to see this, right? So I'm just going to click here, or else you can press the tab for importing this formula. Okay, so this is the filter that we are going to add in this calculate function. So in this filter, in which table we are going to provide a filter? So we are going to provide a filter on the date. Okay, so let me just type date here, and you can see under the dates table we have a date column here. So I'm just going to click this, and then let's directly close this bracket and one more bracket for closing this. Okay, so I think you guys can be able to understood this measure. Okay, so let me just explain it for the one more time. So here we are going to calculate the total sales comparatively with the last year. Okay, if we are going to view the sales of 2023 for the particular month of the January, so by creating this formula on the next column, we can able to view the same January month sales but for the previous year of 2022. So for that we need to use the calculate function here. So for this calculate function we need to enter the data for the expression and for the filters. So for the expression, I have like created the table, like I have imported the table for the total sales because we are going to create this um, create a column based on this total sales. So I am drop this value here. Okay, and then if you go for the same period last year, so this will be the function which we are going to use it for the for view the data for the previous year sales. Okay, and then for the same period last year we need to mention a table, so a column as I have mentioned the date column on the dates table. Okay, so let me just click enter here, and then you can see the total sales last year has been created. So I'm just going to minimize this, and then let me add this total sales last year into this table. Like either I can drop here, or else like you can drop inside this table also. Okay, like you can drop here. Okay, or else like you can click this checkbox after clicking this table. Okay. Okay, so now we need to format this. So I'm just going for the total sales last year. Like let's go for the measure tools, and then here I'm going to change this as a currencies, and here it will be automatically change it as currency, and then the dollar symbol for this. Okay, so let me click on the outside. So let me expand this so that it will be very easy for you to understand. Okay. So in this table, like we have created a measure so that you can able to view like why we have created a new measure for that. So for this 2021 January, we have a sales total sales of 9,44 and $532. Okay, but for the previous year in 2020 January, we have 1024 and $700 here. So for we need to compare this, right? So I have created a new column for this, like a total sales last year, and then you can able to see, okay, the 2021 January as 9 lakh 44 532, and the 2020 January as this. So comparatively, like this month, like this here, like 2020 2020 2021 January as a minimum sales when compared to the 2020 sales here. Okay, and then for the same for the all the months here, but yeah, if you go for the 2022 April, like we don't have any data for 2022 April, so we don't have any kind of total measures in this, but we have the previous year data for this, so that we can be able to analyze for the future data, like which we are going to get on the upcoming months of the 2022. Okay, so this is kind of old data, so here the data is not sufficient for me to explain you guys. Okay, here we don't have any data for this month for the current year, so then we like it is automatically changed for the previous year. Like when we go for the April here, when we go for the last year April, we have 984,774. So here it will be the same for the previous year. So for this year, we can able to predict the sales like when comparatively to this. So here this will be like this month for the April. So we will get this much of sales when compared to the last previous year. Okay. So this is how you can able to create the total sales for this. Okay, but this is a kind of time intelligence DAX calculation. Okay, so this is not only for the sales, like we can able to create like a sales difference. Like here you can see like this difference, like 944 532 and then 1024 700. We can able to calculate this difference into the separate column here. Okay, so let me create the separate column for this. So let me go for the measure here, and then let's create a new measure here. Okay, so for this, like I think this will be very simple, like when compared to the previous formula. So this here, so I'm going to rename it as sales difference last year. Okay, so equal to, so sales difference, we are going to subtract the total sales with the total sales of the previous year. So we have to make a difference for these 2 years, right? So I'm just going to drop the total sales for the measures, and then I need to subtract for the like a total sales last year. Okay, so let me go for this. Okay, so now we can close the bracket here. So like there is an no open bracket for this. So then we can able to just click on enter, and then let me close this, and you can see the sales difference for the last year we have created here. So I'm just going to import this into this table, and let me just format this as a currency. Okay, so now you can able to see the total difference, because here there is no difference because we don't have data for 2019 January. So then it will be shown as the same value for the like a sales difference. Okay, so here you can see the exact value for this, and then like this sales difference, like for the 2021 sales comparatively with 2020 sales, here we have a difference of for the negative values for the currencies, we have done it denoted with this bracket value. Okay, so for the Indian currency we will show it as a minus value. For this US dollar currencies, like they will show with the bracket function here. Okay, so wherever we can able to find the bracket, it is nothing but the negative value for this, like we don't have any kind of positive sales for that, we just have a negative value for that. Okay, so like this you can be able to view for all these years. And then for this also, like we don't have any difference because we don't have any data for 2022 year. So then the 2021 data will be that will be reflected as a sales difference here. Okay, so yeah guys, so that's all. Like we have created a time intelligence DAX calculation by using the data that we have imported from our Excel. So we have created in this video like total sales for the last year and then the sales difference for the last year. So this is how we can use the DAX measure for the time intelligence function. Okay, so in our next video we can able to like we can go through like what are all the advanced time intelligence calculations. Okay, and then how we can import the visualization on our report and what are all the new function that we are going to use while creating the measures here. Okay, so that's all guys, so thanks for watching, we will see you next video. So until then, bye.